Just trying to survive and learn to love along the way by Foreplay on AO3. Episode 78, Chapter 78 of Tales and a New Adult. Izuku eventually tells them the rest of the tale once his dad leaves the room. He just wants to get everything off his chest. Of course they know some of it, like everything that happened with his mother, but there's a lot they hadn't found out. He starts with how he met All Might. Izuku doesn't give them any chance to interrupt, to focus on getting it all out. You could tell they want to, especially when he talks about the rooftop. But if he's interrupted, Izuku's not sure if he'll be able to start the story again. It doesn't take long to get through, and by the end, both of his friends have deep frowns on their faces. So, how are we getting revenge? Hitoshi speaks up again, after a few minutes of silence. Revenge? Of course, Izuku. All Might treated you horribly. Shouta looks particularly vengeful. No, it's fine. I never even see him anymore. It doesn't matter. He'd still hurt you. Really, it's fine, Sho. I'm past all of that now. I just want to move on. Toshi and Shouta share a look, but they don't push it. Izuku doesn't want to discuss this any further, so he gets up and starts leading them to the door so they can go down to the common room. He opens the door and nearly gets a fistful of face of Kaminari as he moves to knock. He has a worried look on his face, and he sets all sorts of alarm bells. Kaminari, what's going on? Is Aizawa-sensei here? There's some lady downstairs saying she was sent by the principal Nezu? Izuku doesn't even move from the door, just turns his head and yells for his dad. What's going on, problem children? It's as if his dad was waiting for this call. Kami said that there's a lady downstairs? His dad moves to the door, but before he could reach them, his phone rings. He doesn't even speak when he answers, instead listening to the person on the other end the whole time. Nezu sent her. You kids can stay up here. Izuku's dad doesn't look too worried, but he still moves quickly. Izuku and his friends don't even have to check with each other before following. A glance behind him tells them that Kaminari is coming down with them as well. Everyone is on edge when they reach the common room, his dad included. The lady is clearly here in an official capacity, but he doesn't think anyone was informed beforehand. No matter, his dad will deal with it, like he always does. Do you know why she's here? Toshi asked the rest of the class when they joined them. It's about the Endeavor case. It's Ashio who answers, everyone else engrossed in the silent standoff his dad is having with the lady. This soon? Toshi is right. This seems awfully early to have someone call to talk about their case. Though maybe they want to fast-track it because of Endeavor's position? It's hard to hear anything with how quietly the adults are speaking. But soon after, they come downstairs. His dad sighs loudly and turns around. Izuku, Todoroki, and Kirishima, you're coming with us. His dad looks unhappy, but not nearly as unhappy as the last time someone came to talk to them. Instead of following his dad to the office, the three of them follow him and the lady out of the dorms and across campus. Hey, Dad, why are we going to the school? Izuku speaks up after a few minutes of awkward silence. You don't need your classmates eavesdropping, although I'm sure some of them will find out later. This isn't something that everyone should be gossiping about. His dad answers, without even turning around. All the offices are pretty close to the front of the school, so they make it fairly quickly. Izuku, Shoto, and Kirishima squish themselves into the love seat, while his dad and the lady sit on the available chairs. My name is Suzuki Ashiko. You may call me Shushiki-san. I'm here to discuss the Endeavor case. Shushimi-san is Yue's lawyer. You can trust her with anything. His dad speaks up, as if he could sense their hesitation. All three of them relax at that. This is a big case, so it's pushed aside a lot of others, which means that the trial will happen in a matter of weeks, not months. We wanted you guys to have longer. Sasami-san looked regretful as she shares the news. Well, some of us didn't want you kids involved at all. His dad looks angry, but not at them. Today is just a preliminary meeting. We need you kids to write out your statements so that we can look over them and prepare questions for the stand. I'll be talking to Hawks and Todoroki Touya separately. Which means that the Hero Commission lawyers will be questioning you as well. His dad finishes off for Sasaki-san. That's not good. Shoto pipes up beside him. Izuku knows the commission isn't great, but they can't be that bad, can they? No, it isn't. The lawyers are going to question you guys hard. But why? We're just kids. Izuku directs his question at his dad. Unfortunately, all they care about is protecting the heroes, innocent or guilty. Now, I've taken up enough of your time. I'll be back in a week to collect your statements. Suzuki-san stands up as she speaks, and no one says a word as she leaves the room. Sensei, can't we just give her the statements we already gave to the police? Kirishima speaks up once the click of her shoes fades away. The main assumption here is that you all have to remember more. Since this happened 2 weeks ago, it gave you more time to process everything so that they could hopefully have more information. Everyone nods at his dad's answer. If you need any advice on writing your statements, you can ask me or President Mike. I suggest you get it done sooner rather than later. Okay, thanks, Sensei. Kirishima leaves, a strained smile on his face. Shouta lingers a moment longer, eyes on Izuku. He gives his friend the most confident smile he can muster, and he leaves with a comforting squeeze on his shoulder. I know that this is a lot right now, Izuku. I'm sorry that everything is happening so quickly with your quirks and now this. His dad has the audacity to look guilty right now. It's fine, Dad. It's not like this is your fault. His dad takes a moment to process the words. Thanks, Izuku. Now, how about we go test out your new quirk? Izuku grins. He pushes the statement and the child from his mind as he follows his dad out of the office and finds himself in a much better mood as they move towards the training rooms. Unfortunately, criminal trials can be hard for the victims. No, I'm not looking forward to that because a lot of the times, you know, like people ask and wonder, especially with like people who've experienced grapes. Yes, grapes. Like the fruit. Definitely talking about the fruit. When they experience, you know, that and, you know, people are like, why don't you take it to trial and like stuff like that, even if they have all the evidence necessary. First of all, to gather said evidence is re-traumatizing for the victim. Like, an R case, or an R, what was it? Not a case, but like the collection of all that evidence, right, of the DNA and the stuff like that, you know, like they have to poke and prod around there, right? They have to take pictures of the whole body, naked, to assess all the damage that has been done to the body, right? It's re-traumatizing for the victim. And apart from that, you then have to sit in trial, right? And it's not just one trial. These could go on, you know, it might be like, okay, you have to wait a couple months for the trial to start. Once the trial starts, it could take weeks for that trial to end, right? Multiple times of sitting down on the stand and retelling what happened to you, right? Because sometimes it's necessary for the victim to stand on trial and talk. Otherwise, the case can be lost, right? And you have to sit there and tell a bunch of strangers what happened. And sometimes they don't even have the courtesy to make the, you know, the accused person or the horrible, you know, person who did this to the victim leave the room. They're there. It is horrifying. It is horrible for victims. And even if it's not just, you know, an R word and it's like a stalker case or a murder case, right? Like with a murder case, like the victim's family has to be there. Or an attempted murder case, the person who got attempted murder has to be there and recall that traumatic event in their life to strangers. And in the case of here, with just trying to survive and learn to love along the way, they're gonna have to sit there, those 3 kids, and recall. First of all, the one that's gonna get the most traumatized is Todoroki. He's gonna have to sit there and tell people that, yeah, that was my life growing up, right? Sure, he changed, but he reverted back to his old ways, and he almost killed me and my friends. Kirishima's gonna have to go through all of that again, right? All of this, they're gonna have to relive, re-traumatize, right? For the possibility for Endeavor to get reprimanded. The possibility. Not the, oh, he's gonna get he's gonna get trialed as guilty. He's gonna get proven guilty. No, it's the chance. And not even just that. Look, I get it. It's their jobs. Lawyers' jobs are to do that. But the lawyers that are going to be appointed to Endeavor's case are going to eat them up on trial. They're going to eat them up. It's their job, unfortunately. They're going to sit there and they're going to poke and prod at their statements and their stories until they find an area to budge, an area to poke and prod enough so that it falls apart. Who is slamming that door? Until it falls apart, until it breaks apart and ruins the story. Why? Because that's just what lawyers do. It's unfortunate that they have to do that. It's unfortunate that they have to put the kids through that, but it's their job, and I am not looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to reading that. That's gonna break my heart, because I know how criminal trials go. I know it a little bit too much. You know, I've been into true crime since I was a little kid, and I have loved, you know, sitting and watching court cases, and sometimes the person who does it get away with it. Supposedly, the person who does it. I have to say that, right? And it's hard, because sometimes if there's not enough evidence, sometimes witness cases are not enough, and sometimes lawyers poke and prod a victim story so much that it falls apart on the victim. Because unfortunately, trauma can alter the memory. It can. Someone might not remember it. Someone might remember it kind of, but like it's a little foggy, and another person might remember it completely vividly. Because trauma acts that way. Trauma's funny that way. And I'm scared for what's gonna happen. I really hope that Endeavor does get, you know, reprimanded, you know? But at the same time, I have to be open with the fact that, let's be honest, the Hero Commission is gonna do their damn best at protecting that hero no matter what. And I'm scared about that. I'm scared about that. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.